ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಸುಮಿತ್ ಸೌದತ್ತಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಸೊ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ನಾಗ there is one issue which has been doing a lot of rounds in our national debates and TVs as well as medias. So that issue ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಮಣಿಪುರ್ crisis, right? You might have come through this issues, right? So ನಿಮ್ಗೇನ್ ಗೊತ್ತೈತಿ ಮಣಿಪುರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ? We know that Manipur is a northeastern state, right? It's a state in northeast part of our country. So this is the map of Manipur. Manipur state ಇಂದ ಏನೈತಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಮ್ಯಾಪ್. ಇದು ಕಲರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ತಡ್ರಿ. ಇದು okay, so first let us try and understand the geography and demography of the state of Manipur, right? Manipur in the geography but demography ಎರಡು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ನಾವು, right? So geographically ಏನಾಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಮಣಿಪುರ್ ಇಂದ ಏನ್ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಅದಾವಲ್ಲ, ಇವು ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ they are all dominated by hill tracts, right? ಬೆಟ್ಟ ಅದಾವಲ್ಲಿ, right? So ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟ ಇರೋದ್ ಕಾರಣ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು scheduled tribes, right? As we know, in the hilly belt of any region of our country, or for that matter any part of the world, hill areas naga tribes irtar, right? So this hilly area is dominated by the tribes of Manipur. But this central part, idan central part nodakatilla red nag irodu, this is Manipur Valley. Manipur Valley idak now Manipur Valley ant heltevi, right? So geographically these are two distinct regions, right? In the hilly areas ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದಂಗ there are tribes living over there. And ಯಾವ tribes ಅವು ಬರೋದು ಕುಕಿ, ಮಿಜೋಸ್, ಹೋ, ಜೋಮಾರ್, ಚಿನ್. These are the different types of tribes which are living in hilly regions. Whereas ಇದೇನ್ the central part ಐತಲ್ಲ ಮಣಿಪುರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಈ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ನಾಗ ಮೇಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? region wise ನಾವು bifurcate ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೇನ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಐತಲ್ಲ which is the Manipur Valley, there the Metis are dominant and there are 90% Metis who are Hindus and the rest 10% they belong to Islam, right? And even the tribes in irtaralla ಇಲ್ಲಿ edges ನಾಗ, so these are tribes. religion ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ majority of them follow Christianity, right? So this is the geography as well as demography of the state of Manipur. Right now ನಾ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ edges ನಾಗ ಇರೋರು tribes ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. So these people who inhabit the hilly areas, they are classified as STs, scheduled tribes ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಅವರಿಗೆ separate status ಕೊಟ್ಟೇವಿ, right? So if they are a part of ST list, they will be having benefits like reservation for jobs as well as education institutes, right? For education but jobs naga avrige easily reservations irtav, right? There are many government programs for which they are eligible, but Metis are not a part of this reservation system. So let us try and understand the conflict edaketi, why are they fighting, why are these two communities fighting over there, right? So we know that and Biren Singh, the ex-chief minister, recently or resign ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, and Biren Singh, he was the chief minister of Manipur. He belonged to the Metis community, right? He belonged to the Metis community, right? Hindu Metis community. Our chief minister ಇದ್ದಾಗ they started an ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಏನಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ನಾಗ ಎನ್ಕ್ರೋಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಎನ್ಕ್ರೋಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತೆಗ್ಯಾಕ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, he started a government program where the encroachers were totally removed from the scene, right? ಇವರು ಎನ್ಕ್ರೋಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಕತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟಾಡಿ ಟ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪಾಪಿ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ನಾಗ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಡೂ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬೈ ಟಾಡಿ ಟ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗಲಿ ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಟಾಡಿ ಟ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ, as well as poppy cultivation. Say for example drugs in ಏನ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಇಂಗ್ರೀಡಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಕತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So to totally remove this from those hilly tracts of Manipur, the government headed by Biren Singh ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, they started a program where those people who were into this illegal business, they were removed, washed off. So illenatadre all these people who were a part of hilly region, since they were into this illegal business, they were totally removed from the scene. And those people were predominantly cookies, hose, and chin people, right? To be very frank, cookies and thedi now in Jananga ಹೇಳ್ತೇವಲ್ಲ scheduled tribes, ಅವ್ರದ್ದು business ಇತ್ತು. So they were affected by this government move. So this was kind of a point where disagreement between both the communities started, right? So this is andre innu horag bandidilla, but this was kind of a starting point of difference between both the communities. But the final nail in the coffin, ಹೇಳ್ತೇವಲ್ಲ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನಾಗ final nail in the coffin, one final shot ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಇದು ಏನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಐತಿ, ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟ್ ಐತಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರಾಕ ಒಂದು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಣಿಪುರ್. ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಣಿಪುರ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, it asked the Manipur government headed by Biren Singh to recommend to center that Métis ಏನೈತಲ್ಲ, Métis ಏನ್ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಐತಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ನಾಗ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮಣಿಪುರ ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಣಿಪುರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೂ ಹೇಳ್ತದ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾತಂದ್ರೆ, ದ ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಕುಕೀಸ್ who were a part of this reservation system, ಅವರು ಅಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ. ಇದು why did they oppose? ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಮೇಟೀಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ there will be a fight amongst these communities for the limited seats, reserved seats, right? So the cookies digest ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. So that is why what did they do? They started rioting, right? Riots chalu adu. So this was the final nail in the coffin. The High Court order of Manipur asking the state of Manipur to recommend the Métis community under the scheduled tribe list. So this was the final nail in the coffin. So either month the riots chalu adu when it started in the month of May in the year 2023, right? So this issue has been brewing for like almost up to 2 years, right? Innondu international angle ಐತಿ ಇದ್ರೊಳಗೆ. There's another international angle, and that is, see, ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಏನೈತಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ದು ಉತ್ತರ ಪೂರ್ವ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳು ಏನದಾವಲ್ಲ, ಅವು ಮಿಯಾನ್ಮಾರಿಗೆ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಹಾಕಾವ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಮಿಯಾನ್ಮಾರ್ ಟುಡೇ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಿರತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲೇನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲೇನು ಮಿಲಿಟರಿ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಮಿಲಿಟರಿ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಹೆಸರು ಜುಂಟಾ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಹೊರಗೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಜುಂಟಾ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಏನೈತಲ್ಲ, it has started a war in the country. Why? Because people, the people of Myanmar, especially the ethnically armed organizations as well as political opponents of this military rule, they have started rebelling against this military juntas. They have started a rebellion against the military junta. So to war in nadiditalla, so to flee this war, the people of Myanmar who are also a part of the people of Myanmar are also the people like Kukis, Mizos, Zos, right? These people who are also on the other side of the border. Myanmar nagu ee janangdor adar as well as India nagu adar. So those people, war nadididaka ಅವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, they started fleeing the country of Myanmar. Flee ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕಾ? ಯಾರ್ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಯಾವ ಅದಾವ, they are nothing but the state of Manipur. So the influx adu alle. So the people like Kukis, Zos, Mizos as well as Nagas who were fleeing the war from Myanmar, they came into the state of Manipur. Manipurnaga ಅವರು ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾತ? So that conflict gave a rise. Your population rise adanga, this led to the conflict between the Métis and the Kukis, right? So this is the international angle. So why is it in the news? News nag yakete? Why is this incident agidadre 2023 nag? But recently, why is it in the news? Why is it a form of current affairs? So recently, Chief Minister of Manipur and Biren Singh ಅವರು resign ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. So why did he resign? Why he did not resign in the year 2023? Why did he resign now? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಐತಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾಲಿಟಿನಾಗ ನೀವು ಓದಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್? ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ 3 ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? in a year ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷನಾಗ 3 ಸೆಷನ್ ಹಾಕೋ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲೀಸ್. ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್. ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಕೈತಂದ್ರೆ in the month of January, February and March, or February and March. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಆಕೈತಿ. ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಸೆಷನ್ is generally held in the month of July and August. July, August or September, right? These are the 3 months where it is held. And then the last session is the winter session, which is the shortest. ಅದು ನಡೆಯೋದಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಡೀತೈತಂದ್ರೆ in the month of November and December. In the month of November and December. So ನೀವು ಪೊಲಿಟಿನಾಗ ಓದಿರ್ಬೇಕಾ, the duration between two sessions should not exceed 6 months. The duration between any two sessions should not exceed 6 months. In case duration 6 months kin ಜಾಸ್ತಿ exceed ಆತಂದ್ರೆ automatically ಆ government collapse ಆಕೈತಿ, state government, and the state will come under the control of president's rule, right? Central control nag ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೈತಿ. So this is the legal understanding. This is the rule which has been set by the makers of our constitution. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, let us come back to Manipur. In Manipur, the last session was held in the month of July and August, which was monsoon session. Monsoon session ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ winter session ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು in the month of November and December. ಬಟ್ ಏನೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಲ್ಲೇ winter session ವಾಶ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. winter session ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ the gap of 6 months, a deadline ಏನೈತಲ್ಲ, it was coming to end in the first half of February. In the first half of February, a 6 months ಹಿಂದೇನು ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಐತಲ್ಲ, it was coming to an end. ಸೊ ಅದ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಿಯರ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಕೈತಿ, the government has to collapse. In case if the government is collapsed, fresh elections will be held to that state assembly, right? And to avoid this deadlock, ಏನ್ ಡೆಡ್ಲಾಕ್ ಐತಲ್ಲ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ CM ಯಾರಿದಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು just a day before the end of deadline of that 6 months duration. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, the chief minister of that state, he ರಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಗವರ್ನರಿಗೆ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ರ. ಗವರ್ನರ್ the report ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟಿಗೆ, saying that the chief minister has resigned. So let us not dissolve the assembly. Let us keep this assembly under suspended animation. ಎರಡು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವ. chief minister in case resign ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ there are two options in the hands of governor and president. One option is to dissolve the assembly. Assembly dissolve ಆತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಕೈತಿ, fresh elections ನಾವು hold ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಕೈತಲ್ಲೇ. But this was not the option chosen by the governor and or the president. The option chosen by them was keeping the assembly under suspended animation. Suspended animation ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Suspended animation ಅಂದ್ರೆ assembly then tenure ಐತಲ್ಲ expire ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. The meaning assembly already existence ತಂದೇನ್ tenure ಐತಲ್ಲ 5 years complete ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, but provided the majority party of that assembly must and should choose a new government under a new leadership, right? So presently Manipur is under suspended animation. Suspended animation na presently aiti Manipur. They have the option, the government or the assembly of Manipur has the option of finding a new leader under the majority party, right? So there is a possibility. So that is why the legislative assembly of Manipur is not dissolved, but it is kept under suspended animation. Why? Because the chief minister has resigned, and now since the chief minister has resigned and since it is under the suspended animation, the government, the legislative assembly can choose its majority party under whom a new leadership should emerge and form a new government, right? This is the possibility. So let us talk about president's rule. ಈ president's rule ಈಗ ನಾವು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿನೂ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿನೂ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಈ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ರೂಲ್ ನಾಗ ಏನ್ ಆಕೈತಂದ್ರೆ, the entire state government gets suspended ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೈತಿ. ಅದರದ್ದು ಏನ್ ರೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಪವರ್ಸ್ ಅದಾವಲ್ಲ, ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅದಾವಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ go to the center. ಯಾಕೆ ಬರ್ತೈತೆ ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? So there is another fact, since we are talking about president's rule. Manipur along with Uttar Pradesh, we had in states adavalla, these two states have the maximum number of times when the president's rule was imposed on the state with 10 sate. So 10 sate you ಎರಡು states ಮೇಲೆ president's rule apply agit. This is what the record or fact says. This you will have to keep in your mind, right? So what is president's rule? ಯಾವ article power ತಗೊಂಡ president's rule apply ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ state ನಾಗ? That article is article number 356. Article number 356. As per the article number 356, the president imposes the president's rule in that state. So once the president rules come into play, governor ಏನಿರ್ತೈತಲ್ಲ, the president delegates the power to the governor of the state administration. So state administration governor kayag hoketi. Governor can rule that state with the help of chief secretary. Chief secretary ಯಾರು ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ state ಇಂದ, ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ರೂಲ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Or in case chief secretary bad ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, president can appoint some advisors. President can appoint some advisors who can rule in that state, right? Clear? These are the provisions of state's rule. Article 356 ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, the president or the governor report ಕಳಿಸಬೇಕು. According to article 356, operating procedure ಏನೈತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, the governor has to send a report to the president saying that the state cannot be run under the provisions of the constitution, or the president may come to a conclusion saying that the state is not being run in accordance with the provisions of the constitution. Governor one report to kalasboda. In case report kalsilla andru, president can come to his own conclusion with the aid and advice of council of ministers. Council of ministers ಯಾರು ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಏಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕಳಿಸಬಹುದು, saying that the state administration is not run in accordance with the provisions of the constitution. These are the two things which you'll have to keep in your mind, right? So parliamentary approval. So once, say for example, under article 356 proclamation horag bant saying that a president's rule has been applied in a state, right? So proclamation ಗೆ support ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? So it has to pass through the parliament, right? So what is that procedure? Let us look into that. So parliament naga, so say for example, a president proclamation has to be approved by the parliament, right? Parliament ಅದೇನು ಅಪ್ರೂವಲ್ ಕಳ್ಸಾರಲ್ಲ, proclamation ಮಾಡಿರಲ್ಲ, so that has to be approved by the parliament, by both the houses of the parliament. That means Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, with a simple majority. Illen special majority ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. With simple majority, when I say simple majority of people present and voting, right? This is the rule number 1, right? Simple majority ನಾಗ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So duration, what about the duration? Let us talk about the duration. Duration ಅಂದ್ರೆ, once the proclamation gets the parliamentary approval, that means the proclamation will stay alive for 6 months. Duration ಏನೈತಿ, maximum validity ಏನೈತಿ ಆ proclamation ಇಂದ, it is up to 6 months. 6 ತಿಂಗಳ ಮಟ್ಟ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆದ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡಿಟಿ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ proclamation ಇಂದ. In case if the government still wants to extend the duration extend ಮಾಡೋದಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ maximum 3 years ಮಟ್ಟ ನಾವು extend ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, but provided every 6 months parliamentary approval ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. Okay, is that clear? Right. So what is the impact ಏನೈತಿ? What is the impact? The impact is that the powers of state administration goes to the center and it is it functions with the aid and advice of Council of Ministers to the President, right? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನೈತಂದ್ರೆ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಅದಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಲೆಜಿಸ್ಲೇಚರ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಏನ್ ಪವರ್ಸ್ ಅದಾವಲ್ಲ he can transfer that to the parliament, right? I hope you are getting the point, right? And the third one is that the president suspends the assembly, which means assembly function ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ unless and until the proclamation has been removed. The state assembly would be suspended. These are the three main provisions of president's rule. Let us talk about revocation. Revoke madak ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Revoke madak there is no parliamentary approval required. ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ president has to make a proclamation saying that president's rule apply ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ static respect to static. So that proclamation alone is enough. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ parliamentary approval ಬೇಕಂತಿಲ್ಲ, right? Is that clear? This is about the revocation, right? So since we have understood the issue, let us look at some model questions, right? Okay, let us look at this question number 1. Consider the following statements about president's rule, right? Statement number 1, Manipur and UP have been put under president's rule for a maximum number of times. Statement number 1. Statement number 2, the state of Jammu and Kashmir was under the longest duration of president's rule. Statement number 2. Statement number 3, the state assembly is dissolved once the president's rule is declared in the state, right? Question noduna, how many statements are correct? So you more statements naga ಎಷ್ಟು statements correct ಅದಾವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಾಕತ್ತಾವ. So since I've already read the statement number 1, as I've already told you, both Manipur and UP have the highest number of the highest number of president rule or mal is bidala, that has been, this statement is correct, right? So the statement number 2, the state of Jammu and Kashmir was under the longest duration of president's rule. Yes, this is right. Even this statement is right. So you add statements correct adav. Let us look at statement number 3. The state assembly is dissolved once the president's rule is declared in the state. Is it true? No, it is not. Yakandra, as I told you, the governor and president have the option of either dissolving the state assembly or keeping it under suspended animation, as in the case of the state of Manipur. So you add statements correct adav. So the correct answer is B, 2 statements, right? Okay, mains ಮತ್ತು essay type questions ನೋಡೋಣ. The first one is, in the light of the imposition of president's rule in Manipur, discuss the provisions and its impact on the state government and the assembly, right? So we have already talked about this, right? ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ president's rules ಬಗ್ಗೆ detail ಆಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದ ಸೆಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದೈತಿ. ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ ನಾಗು I think you can easily answer this question if you go through that. And apart from that, second question is, discuss the underlying causes of the unrest in the northeastern states and suggest steps taken to resolve them. This is more likely an essay question. I think you can answer this because I have not only mentioned what Manipur, idrag ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟ್ ನಾಗದಾವ ಅದು ನೀವು ಇದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So it will take a lot of reading as well, but you have been given enough tools to answer these questions. So this ends my session. Thank you so much.